What up, everybody? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay, man. It's Friday here, man. Been working hard this week, guys. I can't lie to you, man. I'm running out of gas. I'm kind of sick today, guys, but still gonna power through the show, man. Shout out to my guy Chris as well, man, for helping me out. I owe you one, Chris, for real, bro, because I probably couldn't have made it through a solo show today, guys. So we finna try to go through these games, try to get to some cash. Chris, how you doing over there, my brother?
Yeah, Jay, I appreciate you having me, bro. You don't owe me nothing, man. It's always an honor and a pleasure, man. I think a lot of cappers would say the same thing to be on the show and grace the appearance of the people with in front of Jay Money, man. So let's get to some money, Jay. It's all strictly business. We trying to give out some winners. We trying to identify and pick them. I like the card today. We got a lot to get into, Jay. So might as well just dive in, man. Let's get to it.
No, it's a fact right there, bro. It's a bunch of games here. Let's get straight into it, guys. See over here to the streets of Charlotte here, man. First game up, we got the Hornets here getting 4 points at the house versus the Magic in this one, guys. I do like the Magic in this spot, Chris. What have they been doing over the last 10 games? It's kind of alternating wins and losses, right? They're coming off a loss as well. I'm sure you listen to the post game interviews like I do, Chris, and you hear Cole Anthony say, "Well, you want that get back when you lose these games." That's exactly what's been happening. He said that they're going to take their frustrations out on Charlotte, and I believe him as well. I like the matchups for this team as well. I don't know why they have been playing bowl that much lately, but I really do think it's finally time for the Hornets to face reality here. LaMelo Ball out for the rest of the season. There's no real point to rushing PJ Washington back as well, guys. So I do think the Hornets finally are about to go on the slide after winning five straight, covering five straight as well. I like the Magic here, Chris. I did bet them last night, -3. I wouldn't talk people off the -4. How you look at this game, my brother?
Yeah, Jay, I think we aligned on that one, man. The Magic have not been they've not done well as road favorites, Jay, but you can kind of toss some of those trends to the side when you look at specific situations. I think this is a specific situation. You probably saw the trends, Jay, but the Magic they bounce back well, right? When they're coming off a loss, which they got smoked by the Bucks 2 nights ago, and the Bucks were actually on the second night of a back to back. But we know the Bucks are just you can't get in front of the Bucks right now in no form of way. They didn't even lose a game in the month of February. But looking at this team, Jay, I think what you mentioned based on my notes, you mentioned Charlotte without LaMelo, man. The pace slows down a lot without him. It goes from a 101.83, where they average 116 points with him, to without him, it drops to 99. They only averaging 108 points. The Magic have been playing pretty good defense as well, Jay. I think I think they cover here. I also think this game goes under. You look at this Orlando team, top 7 defensive team in the last 10 games, 25th offensively. So they have struggled to score the ball, Jay. So they're gonna have to rely more so on their defense today. We know Charlotte's been playing, some much better defense as well. A lot of games going under. So I agree with the money coming in on the Magic here, Jay. I also agree with the total dropping as well. Also, last quick point, Jay. Last 5 games between these two teams have all gone under as well. So I would lean towards Orlando to still be able to cover the 4. I also like the total dropping in this one, Jay. It looked like it opened at 225 and
No, hell
227. It's down to
no.
225.
Man, I saw 229s out there last night, Chris. Like I was doing the show last night and the issue was like 229, 229 and a half, man. So sometimes when the actual like some openers, so it'd be like different openers sometimes. So like I know DraftKings has it open first. Man, this shit it was close to 230 last night, Chris. So it come down to 225. And I'm with you. I agree with it as well. I always tell people sometimes you can't really be scared. I mean, obviously you've lost some value, but it's also telling you that that's probably the right side as well. So I'm glad to wake up and see the Magic sitting at -4 here. It's 3.5 last night. I need the -3. I couldn't talk you off the -4. And I do lean to that under as well, Chris, because we know that the Hornets are not going to be a run and gun, fast paced type of game team without LaMelo Ball. You got Terry Rozier. They started Kelly Oubre as well. So I mean, it's a little bit better defense. He's still coming back off injury. So he's not all the way in offensive form right now as well, man. So he might be out there clanking up shots. Rozier runs a different pace, and Dennis Smith Jr. as well off the bench, man. So we like in Magic and the under in this game, Chris. And I couldn't talk you off Hornets team total as well under in this one as well. I know my guy Ronald like and nail it, man. So over to the streets of Atlanta here, guys. We got the Hawks. Hawks laying 7 points at the house versus the Blazers in this one, guys. Tough game, Chris. Right? In theory, Hawks in the kiss the wives and girlfriends spot. They do have the Heat on day tomorrow, so big 4 game. road trip coming up for the Hawks here, but they do have a new coach and they are coming off a home loss and they are going to want to win this game, right? So, and you know, the Blazers, I mean, they can play some really good offense, just that I don't know what to do with this Blazers team. It's kind of just like one of those mediocre type of teams. You never really know what you're going to get from them. You see what I'm saying? So, this is a tough game for me. I know I don't necessarily want to lay the 7 with the Hawks. It's not the best spot, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did come out here with some. Chris, how you looking at this game?
Yeah, Jay, I think you summarized it for me as well. It's almost like you've been in my notes, man, because the Blazers, like you said, they're not a team you want to trust, especially on the road, Jay. And the Hawks I feel like they lack a defense. When I need you to win by 6 or more, Jay, I need you to be able to play some defense. And that's one thing I can't consistently trust when I'm taking this Hawks team is for them to be able to play defense. We saw them, they got out to a big lead in the last game against the Wizards and kind of pissed it away. So I wouldn't be able to lay the points here, Jay. I think, the total in this one has gone up just a tad bit, Jay. I know it's a sneaky look, and you really don't want to play a lot of overs. Play a lot of unders. But I think that the total has gone up in this one. I think this one could potentially go under, Jay, because I think the Hawks got to save a little bit for tomorrow. Because, like you mentioned, this is the kiss the babies and the wives, goodbye game, because they will be playing in Miami tomorrow. You look at this Hawks team, Jay. They're 5-1 to the under as a home favorite when the total is 235 points or more in games without overtime. On the opposite side, you look at the Blazers. They're 3-2 to the under as road dogs with a total of 235 points or more in games without overtime. I feel like this is a prop type game, though, Jay. So I guess a contrarian under spot just because the Blazers don't always bring it offensively, Jay. We know that Dame Point sitting at about 37.5, but they don't have a lot of scoring outside of him. They're still missing Nurkic. I saw Simons was listed as doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. And another sneaky look, Jay. This is almost like a Jay Money sneaky look. Cam Reddish props. This will be his first game, Jay. Going back to Atlanta since he got traded. His lines aren't available yet, but we know it's a revenge game for him. Atlanta kind of, middle of the pack defensively against small forwards, and Dame gonna need some kind of help, Jay. That ever since he went for 71 points, he's played against the Pelicans and he played against the Golden State Warriors, and they've been running a lot of boxing ones and trapping him, getting the ball out of his hands. So I'm not counting on Matisse Thybulle to be out there scoring points. So I would look at Cam Reddish to go over his points prop if I'm looking at anything in this game once that line is available, Jay.
That's a good look there, Chris. A little sneaky look there. They definitely gonna even they bringing him off the bench. Reddish has been playing well for the Blazers. You would want them to bring him off the bench as well, man, because that Blazers bench is horrible in my opinion, man. I don't know, Chris. Like if you watch the Blazer lights, it seems like every time Shaedon Sharpe shoots the ball, bro, he clanking that shit up, man. So he can get to the paint. He can obviously he's a high flyer. He can even he has the quickness to get with that first step. But shooting the ball, I do not want to see him shooting. Man, I'd take some Shaedon Sharpe under 3 points or something. Man, that guy there, man. But regards to that, Cam Reddish, that's a good look there coming back to Atlanta. But I just hope you guys understand it's a really tricky spot for Atlanta. They have a 4-game road trip coming up. 2 games in Miami, 2 games in Washington as well versus the Wizards. These are 2 divisional opponents from the Hawks. So those you could argue those are bigger games. But also on the other hand, Quinn Snyder over there, he's going to want a good rep. He's definitely going to win this game at the house as well. So tough one for me. And like you said, Chris, the Hawks don't play enough defense for me to lay 7 with them right here, guys. So could not talk you off that Cam Reddish look in that one, guys. Set over to the streets of Boston here, Chris. We got the Celtics laying 11 points at the house versus the Brooklyn Nets in this one. Over and under sitting at 227 in this one, Chris. It's what do you think about these Nets, bro? I do think that they're going to take a slide, but this could be somewhat like a step-up game. We saw that now. They have played a lot better at the house. We did see them get up by 15 versus the Bucks, but I don't want to lay 11 here with the Celtics. I guess that's what I'm saying. But how you look at this game, Chris?
Hey Jay, to take a page out of Teddy book yesterday, he said if he playing, he laying, and that's the only way I'm looking, Jay. For me, Jay, it's just a fade of the Nets without Kyrie, man. One thing I looked at was just if you go in the database and look at the Nets, you look at I think they played 5 or 6 road games now since the Kyrie trade on February the 4th. Every single one of their opponents, Jay, have gone over their team total. I know they got 1 day of rest, Jay, but this still is. I think it's still a 4th game in 6 nights or a 5th game in 7 nights for. I think it's a 4th game in 6 nights for this Boston team, Jay. And you can for this Brooklyn team. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Also, the other 2 times the last time these teams played, Jay, I talked about this on my morning show. The last time these 2 teams played, Jay, I think you might have been on Brooklyn with me. I know I was on Brooklyn. Brooklyn got smashed in that spot. Kyrie so bad that Kyrie requested a trade afterwards. So now you're going back to Boston and you gotta win without Kyrie. I don't know, Jay. I think if I'm playing, I'm laying in this spot, Jay, just because I looked at the Celtics as home favorites of 10 points or more, with a total of 225 or less. They're 6-1 to the over, 6-1 to their team total over as well, Jay. And then another thing I looked at was since 2020 season, road dogs of 10 points or more playing their fourth game in 6 nights, 1-12 against the spread, 4-9 against the spread, 1-12 straight up, 4-9 against the spread, losing by average of 17 points. 9 of the 13 opponents went over their team total, Jay. One thing I don't like about the Nets is they can't rebound the ball, right? We know that they don't have a lot of size. So it's going to be, good luck. I think, looking at this game from a prop perspective, Jay, probably look at Jaylen Brown, just because I think Tatum going to have his hands full with Mikal Bridges, right? So I would probably be looking towards Jaylen Brown. He typically plays well against the Nets. But I played the team total over, Jay. I played the Celtics team total over 119.5 in this spot. Kind of stay away from the spread just because I'm fading Brooklyn defense every single chance that I get. Especially, now that they don't got a lot of size, length, and athleticism. Brooklyn typically play well in this spot, Jay. So I played the team total over for the Boston Celtics, over 119.5.
Man, well, I'm looking at this game now. Finney Smith has been trash for the Nets, but he still can play some defense. So you look at it from this standpoint, they have 3 defenders that they can throw at the 2 best players for the Celtics, in my opinion. Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges. They're saying in the chat that it's Cam Johnson's birthday as well, man. So I just got a funny feeling about landing with the Celtics in this one. Nets can come out with something in the first half. We've seen them do it time and time again. Then they'll get blown out in the full game, like you said as well. The last game they got absolutely smoked, man. It was 139-96, and it was in this same arena as well. So the Celtics have absolutely owned the Nets. They've won 10 straight versus them, and 9-1 against the spread as well. So I'm not taking the Nets here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did cover the first half. I'm not betting this game. I mean, if you want the Celtics, I mean, I couldn't talk you off. This team is a juggernaut. It's hard to bet against them. It's a Friday night at the house. They got a full squad, no injuries. So I'm off this game, man. But would I be surprised if the Nets covered the game? I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think that's a good look there by you taking the Celtics team total over knowing fading the Brooklyn Nets defense. I think the Nets gonna miss the playoffs, guys. I'm gonna probably watch this game, see if I can get a little bit more info. But I mean, Nets to miss the playoffs at plus. I mentioned it the other day at plus 390. It's down to plus 320. I saw plus 250 at one book, guys. So it's still a few plus 320s out there, even plus 350 as well. I think the Nets might miss the playoffs if they get in the play-in tournament. It could be 3 possible bets for them. Their win total under 45.5. For them to make the play-in tournament plus 100, and them to miss the playoffs north of plus 300. I think all 3 of those are going to cash. But for this particular game right here, this could be a step-up type of game. They have no shot of winning, in my opinion. But I got a funny feeling about that 11 for the Celtics, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Miami here, Chris. We got the Heat here getting 3 points at the house versus the New York Knicks in this one. Knicks red hot. I mean, it's obviously the Heat could come out with something here, Chris, coming off that tough loss to Philly with no Embiid, but I'm not stepping in front of the Knicks right now, man. They've solidified themselves the 4th best team in the East, 7-0 since getting hard. I don't see them stopping today, my brother.
Same, Jay. Knicks are nothing for me, man. This one was pretty easy. And a big thing I looked at, Jay, was I'm like, man, how do the Knicks do, Jay, when they're on the road as a favorite? We know that they've been covering at home, right? But when they go on the road, do they still play, just as good? Knicks are 6-1, Jay, straight up and against the spread as a home favorite, including 5-0 straight up and against the spread in conference games. They're 4-2 to the under in that spot, averaging about 220 points, and they've won and covered 7 of their last 7 in a row and 9 of their last 10, like you said. Also, Jay, another thing I looked at was the revenge factor. Knicks 11-6 straight up, 10-6-1 against the spread, facing a team that they've previously beaten already, including 5-2 straight up against the straight up and against the spread in road games, but also 4-0 straight up and against the spread as road favorites, Jay, in this spot. So if they beat you already, and then they got to go into your gym, they'll beat you again, right? Like you said, Jay, this one ain't. Honestly, it could be a trifecta spot. I think you could potentially get a better number if Jimmy Butler gets rolled in, because the line is moving in favor of the Knicks in this spot. But I did lay the 2, Jay. I couldn't talk anybody off the trifecta with just how hard this team has been playing. I was listening to reading the beat writers after the game, Jay, and they said that it's just so much camaraderie in that locker room. They telling jokes and they just together right now. That's not a team you want to bet against, Jay. So I think I think this gonna be the telling of the tale right here, Jay, because the Knicks have been playing so good. I think it's interesting to see the Heat as a home dog. It's only happened twice this year, Jay, and they lost both of those games. So I laid the 2 with the Knicks. I couldn't talk anybody off the 2.5. Also couldn't talk anybody off the first half or the first quarter. The Knicks have been playing extremely well. In those 2 games, Jay, that the Heat were home dogs, they lost the first quarter by an average of 4 points. And we know the Knicks are scorching hot right now. So I couldn't talk anybody off the Knicks first quarter, first half either, but I did lay the 2 full game.
Yeah, they playing good ball right now, man. You look at the Heat. They trash at the house, man. I know it's 19-11 straight up, but 9-20-1 against the spread at the house, man. You got to be better than that, especially when teams are going to Miami. It's just a party city. You got to take advantage of your home court advantage, man. I'm really worried about this Heat team. Shit, their trash ass might miss the playoffs as well, man. That's why I was trying to get more info on Jimmy Butler's knee, because I feel like if it's any somewhat of a serious knee injury or something that they could be possibly resting him in some spots, the Heat can't afford to be resting in the spots. And if he's not 100%, he's the way that the Heat are going right now. Some people saying that Kevin Love's stop it, man. They shouldn't be starting Kevin Love. What are we doing here, man? I can't believe that he.
One more thing, Jay. You talked about their offense being so bad. They're 27th offensively and 25th defensively in net rating over the last 10 games, only averaging 100 points, Jay, in their last 5 games. And we know that the Knicks offense is red hot right now, especially since they got Josh Hart. It's like you said, it's Knicks and nothing, man. This one ain't too much rocket science behind this one.
No, that's a fact. Yeah, I'd lean Knicks in the first half. Like I said, I did put a little something on Knicks full game yesterday, minus 2, but it wasn't much. It was like maybe like 0.2 units. Some I sprinkled on last night. But obviously, I mean, you can wait on Butler. If he's out, this line might go up to 4 because they kind of already shading it their way, like he might be out. If he's in, it'll probably go back to Heat -1 in this one. So I wouldn't go too heavy on Knicks -3. Now, if Butler's out, then you could go ahead and go in full unit, you know what I'm saying, on the Knicks there. But there's a possibility that he could play in this game. This is a big game for the Heat in this one, guys. So we'll see if Jimmy plays, but I know it's Knicks or nothing for me. That's the only thing that I'm looking at in this game. I'm not looking towards fading them. I do think that their streak probably ends in the next game versus Boston, my guys. Also, that's another note for the Celtics. They do have a big revenge game on deck versus this same Knicks team as well. And I guarantee you, I'm not saying they're looking ahead to it, but they want to ball out versus the Knicks in the next game at the house, guys, on Sunday, I believe. So over here to the streets of OKC here, Chris. We got the Thunder laying a point at the house versus the Jazz. This one, the Jazz were laying -2 last night, guys. So this line has moved over to Thunder being a favorite. We know that they have revenge. They just lost in overtime, Chris. Would lean to the under in this one. The Thunder total, it was like at 235, 234 last night, down to 231. Can't spell Thunder without the under. Obviously, they don't have a ton of paint protection, but at least for the Jazz, they have Walker Kessler, Laurie Markin went off for 47 points last time, Chris. SGA did have 39 points. Jordan Clarkson had 24 as well. They end up losing by 1 in overtime. I got a feeling that Thunder come out here with some first quarter, first half. They definitely have the advantage of this being their, I believe, third straight home game or fourth straight home game, and fourth straight home game for the Thunder in this one, guys. So they hadn't had to travel anywhere. Jazz, first game on the road after 3 straight home games, hadn't played a road game since February 15th, Chris. I feel like the Thunder come out here with some first quarter, first half.
Yeah, Jay, this is one of the tankathon games of the year right here, Jay. These 2 teams that look like they don't necessarily want to win, man. I know the Jazz have been winning, but they also been playing against the Spurs, and they lost the last one against the Spurs, and they still don't got Clarkson in this spot, Jay. I can't back this team without Colin Sexton, without Jordan Clarkson. They just don't have a true point guard. You mentioned the under, Jay. Chris Dunn has come in. He's played pretty good defense, and they've kind of thrown him right in too, Jay. Like, he's been playing significant minutes, him and THT.
That's some tanking shit. Right, Chris, right. Remember we talked about that? Them signing players and that's some tanking shit right there.
Yeah. And then I can't remember who the player was for the Thunder, Jay, but they also lost somebody the other day against the Lakers. He's done for the season. They also signed in players and calling players up.
Kendrick Williams.
Kendrick Williams, Kendrick Williams, yep. So they lost him. So, and I think SGA is still out in this game as well, Jay. This seemed like a game that I just don't want to have too much action in, but I couldn't talk anybody off the under in this spot. I think he'll be missed offensively, and I think I'm not laying points with a team that just lost to the Spurs at home, Jay. I can't do that, especially if the roster's gonna look the same. I think if I'm playing any props, it's probably be marketing. As far as who I think like has the more motivation to win this game, I think I would be looking towards Utah. If you ask me which team, Jay, I think's packed it in more, I think the Thunder has packed it in a tad bit more, Jay. They haven't won post All-Star break. So I think that, motivation wise, the Jazz probably have it, but I can't back them without a guard, Jay. I need somebody to be able to get a ball to marketing. They are the better defensive team, in my opinion, like you said, with Walker Kessler down there. So I think full game I'd be looking towards the Jazz. But I could see anything happening early, Jay. Couldn't talk you off that first quarter, first half look for the Thunder at home. But more so just the under. Both of these teams can't score.
Yeah, full game is definitely a toss-up. Just look at this. It's one of my theories right here, man. Two tanking teams. The one with more wins, they could kind of get things even up, my opinion, man. I don't know. I don't know if the Jazz want to win right now. This road trip is definitely going to tell us everything we need to know. I don't think they're rushing Sexton or Clarkson back. I don't think this team wants to win right now, in my opinion. The Thunder, I feel like they might be the little bit more hungrier team for the simple fact they've lost 5 straight. So even the fact that they're tanking, don't want to win, we still see them playing good games when they'll come out in the first quarter, first half, at least with some sort of emphasis. And like I say, 4 straight home game, they definitely have the advantage there. So if I'm betting this game, I still wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder won the game, but I think first quarter, first half would be the strongest look, because in the fourth quarter, these teams might be fighting to see which one could lose the game, but definitely would lean to the under. If I'm betting that one, it's Thunder first quarter, first half, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Chicago here. We got the Bulls getting 3.5 versus the Suns in this one, Chris. Bulls taking money. This one was at 5.5 last night. It's down to 3.5 here. Obviously, with KD over there, why do you think this line is going down, my guy?
AJ, I wanted to ask you because I have no idea why the line's going down so far, Jay.
Sharp money coming in on the Bulls.
Yeah, I don't get it, Jay. I don't know if it's we just don't know something about the injury report or what. I know the Suns don't play tomorrow. I think the Bulls are also off tomorrow as well. Honestly, Jay, I could care less about the side. I do think the lower the spread gets, the more I like the Suns in this spot. I just don't trust the Bulls, Jay. I don't trust them enough. I think looking at the Bulls, they don't have enough offense. One of the things I looked at, Jay, they're averaging 97 points post All-Star game. And when you got Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and KD on the other side, Jay, I just feel like, they could win this game by 4 points, just based off that fact alone. We know that we only got to see KD in Phoenix one game so far, and that was against the Charlotte team that also plays pretty good defense, and they ran them off the floor the other day. Chicago came out the other day, Jay, in Toronto, and they allowed Toronto to score. Allowed Detroit to score. I think it was close to 60 points in the first half. So if you're struggling with them, good luck with this Suns team tonight, Jay. That's the way I kind of look at the game, no analysis at all. So I think the better look, Jay. I know the totals come down some already, but I think it's the total towards the under. I got the Bulls, like I said, averaging 97 points post All-Star game. The Suns, Jay, only averaging 103 points post All-Star game themselves. That's a combined 200 points through about 8 games so far, Jay, post All-Star break. Both of these teams play at a bottom 10 pace. Both of these teams are top 10 defensively. The Bulls are still, I think, top 5 defensively, post All-Star break, last 10 games as well. So I think the best play would probably be towards the under in this spot, Jay, if I'm playing anything.
Now, that's a good point right there, man. That's a good point by Rashawn in the chat as well. Bulls they are out on the outside looking in the playoff race. They do need every win. That's a good point. Maybe that's why sharp money's coming in on taking the points as a home dog, basically expecting them to be scrappy here. So I don't care though. I still think the Bulls are frauds in my opinion, man. So I know Petra Beverly came over there. It was good for a few games, but you kind of nailed it, Chris. You had to do all that to win by 2 versus the Pistons, man. So what the hell are we doing? Now that was on the road, right, Chris? They were playing better at the house. They're 2-0 at the house with Beverly. I'm not betting this game, man. I couldn't talk you off that underplay there. I still lean Suns. I can understand the Bulls needing to win, but just because you need to win don't mean that you are. I still don't like I like the Beverly over there at first, but I still think this is a fade team in my opinion, man. The locker room is all over the place, my guys. So still lean Suns, lean the under in that one, but no way in hell I'm betting that game. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver here, Chris. We got the Nuggets -5 at the house versus the Grizzlies. Nuggets, they usually tend to do well in revenge spots as well. I know that they play well in those first quarters as well back at the house. I lean Nuggets in the first quarter and full game. This could be a trifecta spot coming from the Nuggets in this one. Grizzlies they're just not the same team on the road. I know, remember a few games ago, they just smacked them up in Memphis, but I feel like they were getting a little bit more of the calls and they were getting a chance to beat the Nuggets up. They are the more physical team, the stronger, I'd say like the more how can I say this? It's a more physical, the more physical, rough type of team. Like they can out rough the Nuggets, but I just don't know if they'll get the calls in Denver tonight. I'd be leaning towards the Nuggets to get some revenge here versus the Grizzlies, Chris.
Try to muck up the game, Jay. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. And I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to take into consideration when you do that, Jay, is every time Jared Jackson Jr. tries to play physical, they just call a foul on him. He could be sitting on the bench, Jay, with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, and you all the Memphis backers like, what the hell is going on here? Then you have no paint protection because Steven Adams still not there, right? So I know it's 5. The lines come down in favor of the Grizzlies, Jay. But I'm with you, Jay. I would be looking at first quarter full game if I'm playing this game from a size perspective. The Nuggets, they're 26-4, Jay. Sometimes it's really that simple. As you just when these two good teams play, you just take the home team. The Nuggets are 26-4 straight up, 19-10-1 against the spread as a home favorite, including 6-0, Jay, straight up and against the spread in their last 6. They're also 8-3 straight up, 7-4 against the spread as a 5.5 point favorite or less, winning those games by average of 9 points. So if they need to win by 6, they typically win by 9 on average, is what I'm saying. In games with, I also just took a deeper dive, Jay. In games with Jokic in as a home favorite, because a couple of those games he wasn't even in. In games with Jokic as a home favorite of 5.5 points or less, they're 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread, winning by 10 points. They're also 6-0 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread as a home favorite, playing against an opponent they've lost already to this season. So you talked about the revenge factor. The Grizzlies, Jay, they still 0-9 straight up, 1-8 against the spread as a road dog, losing by average of 16 points. They lost that last game to Philly by 5 in a game that they probably should have won. The second loss came to the Boston Celtics. They lost by 10 by 10 to the Cavs as well. So I can't get behind the Grizzlies, Jay. The Grizzlies are also another key angle, Jay. Grizzlies 6-15 against the spread versus teams they've previously beaten this season. And you talked about how they just got their revenge, including 0-5 straight up and against the spread when they're a road dog in that spot in the next game, losing by average of 15 points. It'd be Nuggets -5 in this spot for me, Jay. It'd be Nuggets first quarter. But what I am on officially, Jay, I took the under 234. It's really just a system play. Two good teams playing against each other post All-Star break with a total that's greater than 234 points, Jay. 10-2-2 to the under. That's a 84.3% back system play back in all the way going back to 2008. So I know teams typically think that you get these two fast-paced teams and you get a lot of offense. Typically it's defense. We also know that the Grizzlies only average 108 points on the road. So now you got them going into Denver. I like the under, Jay. I like the under a lot. I got a lot of systems that talk about the under, but both of these teams, I think, go under the total. Also, Jay, when you think about unders, I just want to say this for the audience. When you think about unders, both teams have to score, right? I know Ronald said it on your show yesterday that both of these games that they've played so far, Denver went to. This is the second time that Memphis is going to Denver. They got smashed in the first game. That game went under. Denver won by 20. The second game, Denver went to Memphis. Denver was the one that couldn't score. They lost by 20, right? Both of those games went under. I think this one goes under as well, Jay. These teams are still fighting for something because Denver could potentially still lose to Memphis, for home court advantage throughout the playoffs. So this game has playoff implications, even though both of these teams are, the bread and butter of the Western Conference, Jay. So I played the under 234.5, Jay. I also lean, like you said, first quarter, full game towards Denver as well.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are only 10-20 against the spread on the road, man. I'm not looking towards backing them on the road. I really have them written down as a fade team on the road. So it's either I'm fading them or I'm staying off the game. I'd be looking at Nuggets first quarter and full game, guys, but I did not bet the game. And I couldn't talk off that under as well, Chris. You make some great points. This definitely will have a playoff style feel to it. And the Nuggets play a lot better defense at the house as well. Grizzlies offense tends to fall off the cliff as well. On the we know their half court defense is ass. Half court offense is ass, guys. So only looking towards the spicy Nuggets in this one, possibly trifecta spot. And we know Jokic gets a triple-double damn near every game, guys. A few more games here before we get out of here, man. Let's go over to the streets of Sacramento. Got the Kings, laying 7 at the house versus the Clippers. Fox is probably coming back here, right, Chris? I don't really care, man. Who knows what's going on with the Clippers here? I must say, though, this is a high-ass line to be laying with the Kings. Their offense is top tier, but this still isn't a great defensive team, man. I'm not laying 7 points with the Kings. I know the spot says to take them, but actually, if I'm betting this game, I'm taking Clippers first quarter, first half on the money line, Chris.
Yeah, Jay, this is the toughest game I think of the day, man. I really want to get involved. I really want some action. We know they just scored the second most points in the NBA history last week when these two teams played each other. Right after the All-Star break. This is a tough one, Jay. So we got Kawhi, who already said he wasn't going to play, even though they got smashed last night. He didn't come back in the fourth quarter against Golden State. I was watching that game. PG said that he was going to go to sleep, Jay, and see how he felt in the morning to determine whether he was going to play or not. Norman Powell, right? Norman Powell, Jay, is listed as questionable, but
he should be out.
He should be out. I was gonna say, did you see him? He left in a sling last night.
I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it, to be honest with you.
The beat writer said that he left in a sling, and they showed the injury. He was really holding his arm, so even if he plays, he's gonna be inefficient. I mean, he's out there to score the ball. They're gonna need him to score the ball. You look at this Kings team, Jay, and they could get Fox back, like you said. They're kind of. I know I was on the same wavelength you was, Jay. We talked about fading the Kings in the second half of the season, but they've just really been set up in some really, really good spots. This almost is on a platter for them to come out here, absolutely dismantle this team. They do play tomorrow, though, Jay. The Kings do play tomorrow, which makes me kind of lean towards the under. I still feel like the identity of of this Clipper team is to play defense. You're gonna have to come out here with something, and I think just because the Kings play tomorrow and they want to save something, the Kings got. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. They got the Timberwolves tomorrow.
Yeah, they got the Timberwolves. Chris, I got a query for you. This is one that I don't even have to look up. I have it in my head. Look at the Kings when they're at the rest disadvantage, bro. I don't know why, but when the teams come in on a back-to-back and the Kings have been rested, they damn near lose every single time, bro. I don't know why. I guarantee you, if you look this up right now, you'll be astounded at this, bro, because it should be the other way around. It's like when you have the rest advantage, you're supposed to come out there and smash. Specifically with the Kings, and they're playing the teams when they're at the rest disadvantage. They have not been great at all this year. I would not lay 7 points.
3-3, Jay, straight up. 2-4 against the spread, winning by average of 3 points in this spot.
So I know a few of them, they lost. A few of those, they had lost outright, man. I just remember the beat writers kind of scratching their head like, this is a game they're supposed to get.
Hornets,
win.
Jay, the Hornets, the Wizards,
outright,
and the Lakers, all outright losses in those 3 spots.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If I'm betting this game, I'm taking Clippers in the first quarter and the first half money line. You do not want this game. You do not want the Clippers full game, guys. The Kings could, run them off the floor full game, but to start this one, especially where the Clippers lost, this could be a pattern. Just take Clippers first quarter, first half. We know they're going to continue coming out with a sense of urgency, intensity. They just can't put things together full game. It's simple. You just got to follow the pattern sometimes. Kind of like I said yesterday, why you don't want Clippers full game yesterday. You want to take them in the first half is the top spot. So it will be the same thing here. I take Clippers in the first quarter, the first half on the money line. I hadn't bet this game yet. I want Fox to come in. I'd like the Kings to go up to like -10 or something. Obviously, if Paul George is out, it won't be good, but those are just my leans on the game in that one, guys. A couple more games here, Chris. Let's go over to the streets of Golden State here. We've got the Warriors laying 4 at the house versus the Pelicans in this one. Warriors have been coming out slow. Damn near every game, Chris. Follow the patterns. Warriors have been losing the first quarter and the first half. They come out in the third quarter and smash, and then they'll cover the full game. And I could see the exact same thing happen here. Points prop here. Ingram, he's going crazy. He's going crazy. No one to stop him on the Warriors. Ingram knows he has to do everything, try to will his team to the playoffs. I couldn't talk you off not even betting aside in this game, just taking Ingram points over, Chris. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Jay. We saw last night, man. The Warriors as home dogs is a spot you just don't want to take them in. The Clippers were supposed to win that game last night, Jay, and now the Warriors are, I think, 4-0, 5-0, straight up in against the spread as a home dog. I looked at how they do after those games, Jay, and it wasn't anything to kind of report back to. They continue to play well, even on the second leg of a back-to-back in that spot. The Pelicans, Jay, are fighting for their lives. They did get a win, which I didn't think that they were ever going. I thought they might lose the rest of the season, honestly. Mm-hmm. So they showed me some fight the other day in Portland when they caught Portland on the second leg of a back-to-back after they lost to the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, Jay, I don't really want to play a side in this one. I think if I'm playing anything, I'm playing the total and I'm playing it under as well. You look at this Pelicans team, if they're going to do anything, it's going to have to be because they play defense. Herb Jones stepped up in that last game, Jay. We know that they don't have Alvarado, but Herb Jones really stepped up offensively and defensively. We know that they have the bodies to be able to throw at, guys like Clay. And I can see the Warriors potentially running out of gas in this spot, Jay. If you take away Jordan Poole, don't let him go for 42, and you can somehow slow down Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, then you got a chance to keep this one close. The problem with the Pelicans is that they don't score the ball either, Jay. I know that they scored 121 points against the Portland Trailblazers the other day, but they caught
Right.
Portland in a sleepy spot on the second leg of a back-to-back, and it was a road home back-to-back. So if I'm playing this one, Jay, I'm playing the under. I think Golden State continues to play defense. I think it's 5 straight unders at home for the Golden State team, and I think the Pelicans. I think they're going to continue to struggle as well. So I would play the under if I'm playing anything in this game, Jay.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. Like I say, I kind of just would like to take Ingram props. I don't even know what it said, guys. I just know that Ingram is going for at least 30 in his sleep. Chris, check that Ingram prop for me, because I mean, I just don't see how we don't hop on that. If you like the Pelicans in any type of way, I mean, the Warriors have been playing top tier defense. The Clippers are just ass, but Pelicans have the rest advantage here. Like you say, they are fighting for their playoff lives. Some tells me that at least the first half or full game, Pelicans gonna get one of those, but it has to be on Ingram. So it's really one of those where you could just take his prop. You're gonna need
26 and a half, Jay.
That's too low. That's too low. I'm sorry. He's going for 30 in his sleep, guys. I'm telling you right now, Ingram, I sense something different from Ingram. He is not fucking around right now, guys. So I'll tell you that right now, Markel. Yeah, I couldn't talk you off ladder and Ingram points. My guy he's in a different mode right now. I don't know if cuz had a dream, like he talked to Kobe or something, bro. This guy is going bonkers right now.
He's shooting it every time, Jay. It's the only matter if he gonna make him or not. If he make him, he might get 40, like you said.
Bro, he driving to the paint too, Chris. That's what I'm saying. And I don't see anybody on the Warriors that's finna stop him. I don't see it, guys. Ingram to 30 points, my guys. That's what I like in that one. Last game up. Let's talk some Lakers talk here, man. I need the Lakers to win every game here, Chris. What are we doing here? Lakers getting a point at the house. This line did flip to -1.5 this morning. I saw it was 1.5 last night for the Wolves. What do we do with this game, bro? Can the Lakers win? I don't like the spot coming back off the road trip, but every game is a must win right now. The Timberwolves have owned them. They've won 3 out of the last 4. They've covered, I believe, 5 straight in this series as well. Yeah, 5-0 against the spread at last 5. They've basically owned the Lakers, but that was with Russell. Now they got Conley wheelchair. He probably gonna be pushed in a wheelchair in this shit, Chris. But how you liking this game? Who gets the win in this one?
Oh man, I think it could be a toss-up type game, like you said, Jay. I mean, we see the point spread. The Lakers, the thing that interests me in this game, Jay, is both of these teams are coming off road games where they won as a dog. Right, we needed the Lakers the other day against the Thunder, and they came through for us when they was catching 4.5, 5 at one time. And then also, the Timberwolves just beat the Clippers, and they were 6.5 point dogs. They had a couple days. I know you mentioned this in the chat last night, Jay. They had a couple days to go out in LA, and what you say, Jay? What's the worst that could go wrong? Just having a couple.
What's the worst? Come on now, that's not good. You stay in cold ass Minnesota. Now you in LA. You get a chance to go to the beach, see some girls, go and party. I don't know, man.
Do your thing, Jay. So Jay, I think I see this game kind of being a toss-up. I do think you'll get a lot of motivation from both of these teams. If there's a situation today where the Lakers have, I don't know if people watching the standings, the Lakers have passed up 2 teams already in the Western Conference post All-Star break trying to get into that playoff spot. If they win today and a couple different scenarios happen, they could move up another game. The Timberwolves are right in front of them. I think it's by 2 games right now. So this game has a lot of playoff implications there. I think with the Lakers, I think they're believing in themselves right now. They're playing really hard. I could say the same thing about this Timberwolves team, Jay, which is why my play in this game is the under, Jay. I think you also look at the Timberwolves. They're on the first leg of a back-to-back as well. We talked about it. They got to play the Kings tomorrow. The total in this one opened at 229, Jay. I would only be able to look towards the under. Let me give you a couple reasons why. Timberwolves, they're 2-0 to the under on the first leg of a back-to-back when they're a road favorite this season. Also 3-1 to the under as a road favorite versus teams they've previously beaten, and 4-1 to the under as away favorites in conference games. But the one thing that sticks out to me a lot more than anything else, Jay, is this year, since the All-Star break, road teams that are playing in conference games on the first leg of a back-to-back, they're 12-1 to the under, Jay, in their first game, because you kind of got to save something for the next game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So 12-1 to the under, Jay. This is a spot that went under yesterday between the Warriors and the Clippers, right? Because the Clippers had to play again today and the Warriors had to play again today. So I like the under more than anything else, Jay. If the Lakers going to keep this game close, it's going to be because of their defense. You got to take Jared Vanderbilt and put him on Anthony Edwards to at least make it difficult for him. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
And then AD should, hopefully he can, do his thing and kind of neutralize, Rudy Gobert. He should take Rudy Gobert to work today with the post move that he got. Bring Rudy Gobert big ass out on the perimeter and, hit him with some pump fakes. Do something out there. Don't try to go
Get him
down
in
there in the
foul
paint.
trouble.
You get him in
Get
foul
his
trouble. You
ass
know what I
in foul
mean?
trouble.
Right. So, also, Jay, just last thing I'm going to mention on the under. Last 5 head-to-head matchups have all went under dating back to November 12th, 2021 as well, Jay. So this just seems like a game to me where the under kind of screams because both of these teams have playoff implications. Post All-Star break, we've seen teams really ramp up the defense, Jay, and a lot of these totals have gone under. I think the unders dropped down to 227.5, and I still would endorse it at the 227.5, especially with the Timberwolves having to leave something in the tank for tomorrow's game. Lakers been winning with their defense, Jay. Timberwolves have been too. So I know they went under against the Clippers as well. So under 229, I also lean Lakers with you as well, but I didn't bet the Lakers.
Yeah, and Timberwolves 4 straight owners, like you said. I mean, they held to obviously. I mean, it ain't hard to hold the Clippers to 101, but they did hold the Warriors to 109 as well, man. So this team has been going to the under as well. We know Gobert. I feel like the Wolves only have a few players that I'm scared of in this one, man. Nas Reed off the bench, obviously Anthony Edwards, but like you said, if you put Vanderbilt on him, I really feel like I'll tell you, unpopular take. I don't think they should have traded for Conley, man. I think they should just run Anthony Edwards at the point guard, let him be at the helm of things. I mean, he can score every time. He can pass it. He's going to draw double teams. Conley kind of seemed like it was going to work out for a little while, moving the ball, but he can't score out there. So it's kind of like you can really kind of sag off Conley, man. The guy, I don't know if I'm not trading Ray Russell for an old-ass Conley. I'm just not doing it, guys. So Anthony Edwards, Jay McDaniels, he's somewhat like a Vanderbilt as well over there. Gobert down low, and then Nas Reed. Those are the only players I'm scared of in this one. And like I say, you do have Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt that got traded away from the Wolves, so they're definitely going to have a little bit extra up their sleeve in this one. I didn't bet the Lakers. I'm going to root for them here. I still lean their way, and I lean the under as well, Chris. That was a hell of a show as well, my guy. As always, some great stats, man. I love the way you guys, that you and Ronald were looking at the games. My guy Ski all it, man, but Chris vibes on the show just hit different, my guys. So we finna cash today. I know for a fact, man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have my top energy today. I don't have it today, man. I'm running on fumes, guys. But I did try to power through this show for you guys, man. Let's get to some free picks. Chris, let the people know what you got going. Anything to promote, and let them know your official plays, my brother, before we get out of here.
Yeah, Jay, man. First, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on the show, man. It's always an honor. I know RC come on here and talk about it all the time. Ski do as well, man. But I speak for the people, Jay, when I say, we just appreciate the show. We appreciate seeing your face and hearing your voice on the day, when it's NBA basketball. People want to know what Jay on. You know what I mean? So, that's first and foremost for the people. But as far as me, man, you guys can follow me on Twitter. My @ isn't at the bottom. I don't know why I didn't change it, but it's @ Crispy Captain, 2 P's, 2 N's. Morning show every morning, Monday through Friday. 7 a.m. Cashed It with Chris. And then I'm doing a Twitter space in collaboration with a YouTube show as well, where I just get the community together at 5:30 every day, doing tip-off shows with Jay sometimes as well. That's where you guys can find me and find all my work. As far as today in free plays, Jay, I really, really like a couple. So I'm going to just go through. Let me go to the top. Orlando and Charlotte, under 226. I did play that one officially. It's just a fade to Orlando without LaMelo Ball. Like I said, Orlando also, are playing top 7 defense, and their offense is bottom 5. So I like that game to go under. I did take I did take Boston team total over 119.5 as well. I just feel like that's a fade of Brooklyn defense. Boston should be able to get whatever it is they want. You mentioned full roster day, so I like that one as well. And then we talked about the Knicks, man. I'm laying with the Knicks, Jay. -2 is what I got it at. I would endorse it at the -2.5. You couldn't wait get a better number if Jimmy Butler does get ruled in as well. If Jimmy Butler gets ruled out, just take the Knicks no matter what the spread is, because they're gonna be a fish out of water without Jimmy Butler today with how good the Knicks are playing right now. And then the other two I want to mention, Jay, is the under in the Grizzlies in the Memphis game. Like I said, really, really strong trends to back that one, under 234. That's probably the best number that you can get right now between any of the lines that I'm going to give out. Under 234 is still widely available in that game. And then the Timberwolves and the Lakers, Jay, it's going to be a slugfest, rock fight, 110 to 108 type game with AD back. Gobert's in there as well. Timberwolves playing defense, Lakers playing defense. They're playing for something, Jay. So those are the top 4 plays that I like. Timberwolves and Lakers to go under 229. Denver and Memphis to go under 234.5 if you can get that number. Knicks minus the 2.5, even though you can wait on that one. Orlando, Charlotte under 226, and then Boston team total to go over. So that's 5 plays right there. Boston team total over 119.5. Jay, appreciate you having me, man.
Man, that's 5-0 right there, my guys. We always trying to get some cash. For me, guys, I did bet the Magic minus the 3. I still like them up to 4. I did also sprinkle with that Knicks minus 2 as well with Chris. Just kind of waiting on what's up with Jimmy Butler. Like Chris said, if he's out, it doesn't matter. It could go up to 4 or 5. Still like the Knicks in that one. If he's in, it'll go back to Heat minus 1, and then you can hop on Knicks plus the 1 in that one, guys. So I do have a slight lean to the Nets. I'm not betting the game, but I do have a tricky feeling. This is one of probably the trickiest games of the day. I think the fact that it's on ESPN, that leads me to taking the ugly dog in that one. So I didn't take it, but that would be my lean on the game. Maybe Nets first half, maybe Nets full game in that one, but I didn't bet it, guys. So also lean Thunder first quarter, first half of a midnight game. Wouldn't talk you off the under as well. I like Ingram points, guys. I hadn't bet that one, but I got to take Ingram over the 26.5 points. It's just something that I got to do. If you guys don't like it, you don't have to take it. I lean Nuggets first quarter, first quarter and full game in that one, and towards the under. Clippers first quarter, first half on the money line. I think they're going to get there. I would not touch them full game, but I do think the Clippers get it done first quarter, first half. Couldn't talk you off waiting what's up with PG. And Lakers, I do lean the Lakers and the under in that game as well. Every game is a must win versus for the Lakers today, and they got a chance to knock off one of the teams that's ahead of them as well. So huge game for the Lakers. AD is back. I do lean that way, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. If you'd like to join the channel as a member, it's only $3.99 as well, man. Let's get some cash. It's Us Against the Bookies here every single day, just trying to bring some consistency as well, guys. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Tried to push through for a show. If you do like the show, hit the like button as well, man. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your people about the show as well, guys. Just trying to get it, you know what I'm saying, as many people on these shows as possible. So if you can, the likes, the retweets on Twitter, sharing to your social media really helps, guys. If you can, tell your friends and family, subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get some cash here. I'm at J Money is Money on Twitter. My guy is at Chris B. Cappin on Twitter. 2 P's, 2 N's, my guys. We out, man. Let's get this cash.